Loka means world. Dhamma means condition. 8 worldly condition. This is very important for us to understand, to maintain certain troubles and problems and calamities and disturbances come to us. We do not know what to do. Then we start to worry and cry and shout and even commit suicide due to lack of understanding. So the Buddha purposely explained these 8 conditions, negative, positive, 8. 4 positive, 4 negative. Labho, alabho, ayaso, yasoj, ninda, prasansa, sukhancha, dukkha. These are the 8. Labha, alabha, ayasa, yasa, ninda, prasansa, sukha, dukkha. These are called 8 worldly conditions. Every living beings or every living things subject to these universal worldly conditions. No one is free. Even the Buddhas, Arahantas also not free. They also had to face so many problems and troubles from the public. Whether we are good or bad, or these worldly conditions never sympathize with us, never cooperate with us, because it is universal. Now take for instance, karma is neither cruel nor kind, no discrimination. It works natural way. So the dharma also natural. We cannot change the dharma, but dharma can change us. And if we cooperate with the dharma, we can lead peaceful life. If we violate the dhamma, then we have to face enormous problems and troubles and disturbance. So the first one is labha, means gain. We get something, labha. Alabha means we loss. Gain and loss. So these things are very common. Always we gain, always we lose. So you know this very well. When you go for gambling, every day you can win, one day you gain, one day you lose. You know very well. And all the other things also negative, positive. Now, we are having a healthy life now. That is positive. But any moment, that healthy life can turn into very unfortunate, sickly life. This is the uncertainty. Then sometimes people praise, appreciate us. Some others insult, abuse, criticize, condemn. No one is free from them. The Buddha was criticized, blamed, accused very badly. All of us know the Buddha was the most compassionate, enlightened, sacred, religious teacher. But how many times people tried to create allegation against him, blame him, accuse him to face, then 3 times people try to kill him. This is the fate of great people. I think you know there are many. You had to face the same problems because they were good. If they are bad, they don't care. Now Jesus Christ, He really wanted to do some service. According to tradition, Jesus studied Buddhism for 13 years in India and Egypt, and he wanted to practice what he has learned. So the Roman Empire could not understand, so they wanted to crucify him, kill him. Another great man, Socrates in Greece, he was the only person who tried to introduce democracy in the West. So the government could not understand him, sentenced to death. Great man. Abraham Lincoln in America, he wanted to release those black people used as slaves. Because of that, he had to face untimely death. Mahatma Gandhi in India wanted to maintain his ahimsa, non-violence. When Hindus and Muslims started to kill each other, Mahatma Gandhi did not take side, although he was a Hindu. So he advised both parties not to kill, that's all. So one fanatic, a Hindu, could not tolerate this and shot him dead. So Gandhi had to face death because of his principle. When we study previous birth stories of the Buddha, he has explained only 555. And many of those stories, when you read, you can understand how he had to suffer because of his principles. Because he did not agree to break his principle. To him, principle is more important than the life or the body. Because the body decay and disappear, but the principles never die. This the Buddha has very clearly mentioned. Rupang jirati maccanang nama gottang najirati. Our physical body decay, die and disappear. There is nothing to remain. But nama gottang najirati. Our names, our fame and our influence never die. Now we are talking about Buddha, Jesus, Prophet who lived more than 2,500 years ago. Because of the sacrifices they have done for the sake of their principle. To them, this body is nothing. Principle is the most important thing. So everybody respect them because of that. So, throughout our life, almost every day, we had to face this problem. What is that? Sometimes we gain, sometimes we lose. Our duty is not to get disappointment or frustration, not to get fed up, because this is natural. Gaining and losing, always throughout our life we had to face. So if it is natural, why do we worry? Why do we cry? Why do we disturb others because of this? Once the Buddha was invited to spend Vassana season in a village. And one who invited the Buddha, influenced by the Mara, the evil one. So he has completely forgotten that he has invited the Buddha to observe Vassana or rainy season. There's nobody to provide food for the Buddha. For 3 months he had to struggle for his survival because no proper food. Because he cannot break his good principle to go away. 3 months he had to suffer. So if the Buddha's life is like that, how worldly condition influence for them to experience some difficulties in their life. So what about us? This understanding must be there. Then, after gaining what you got, we cannot keep forever with us. These may disappear, or somebody may come and steal, burn, or flood the wash away. If not, the government confiscate due to certain mistake. If not, due to our negligence, others come and take away. See the uncertainty of everything what we have as our property or income. Any moment, these things can disappear. So, remember, labha, alabha, gaining and losing, these two things are common. When we had to face these problems, we should not get fed up. This is the nature of worldly life. Then, ayaso yasocha, fame and ill fame. That means publicity, very good reputation. Everybody says, oh, he's a very good man. But after some times, people started to create all sort of allegations against him. Then, very bad reputation spread. But that person may be innocent person who has not committed any bad thing. But people can create so many things due to jealousy and what you call discrimination, hostility, enmity. They can disturb their name. The Buddhas say, Natti loke anindito. It's a very nice saying. Natti means no. Loke, in this world. Anindito, who is not blamed. Not a single human being in this world who is free from blame. Just now I told you, Buddha was blamed on many occasions. One day, he went to a village. In that village, there was a lady called Magandhi. who was angry with the Buddha, because this lady agreed to marry the Buddha. When the girl's father introduced the Buddha to the daughter said, "Yeah, I like this man, I like to marry." Formerly she rejected many proposals. The Buddha said, "Actually, I am a religious teacher. I am the Buddha. I am not interested in married life." So he walked out. And this lady took this so seriously, saying that the Buddha insulted her, then create enmity. So she wanted to take revenge, because now she is married to a ruler who is a pretty lady. So when she heard the Buddha and his disciples are here in this town, he employed some gangsters. First to go and insult, using all the bad words, donkey and monkey and bulls and buffaloes and botai, insulting. Then throwing stones. Ananda, his attendant, came and reported to the Buddha, "It is very difficult for us to stay here. People come and accuse and blame. Why not we go to another town?" Then the Buddha said, "What guarantee is there that there won't be anything in that new place? That is not the solution. Running away is not the solution. If we are innocent, if we know we have not done anything wrong, we must have courage to face these challenges, insult and accusation. Allow them to shout, blame, until they get fed up. Allow them to shout, you keep quiet. So they come and shout and shout and shout. After 1 week, they themselves got fed up, they didn't come back. See the Buddha's technique. Running away is not the solution. Allow them to shout. What harm is there? We know we have not done anything wrong. So in our case also, sometimes we get blamed for unnecessary things. We know we are very innocent, but people blame us, accuse. Let them blame. If our mind is clear, if we have no guilty feeling in our mind, that is enough. There is no reason for us to worry. Again, if we are wrong, if we have done mistake, when others blame, criticize, condemns, we should not get angry. It is like this. We get fever and we hate fever. And we take this as a sickness. Fever is not a sickness. When something is wrong in our physical body, infection or some germs, virus enter into the body, then we get fever. This fever is to tell us something is wrong. Otherwise we do not know. We may die because of that. We are not aware. The fever tells us something is wrong. Then we take precaution. We go to doctors and blood tests and x-ray. They come to know something is wrong. So the people who criticize, condemn us just like that. We have to take in that tree. We get headache. Headache is not a sickness. Headache tells us something is going on wrong. Either high blood pressure or minor blood clot in the blood vessels, or something is wrong somewhere. And then we take precaution, get rid of that. Otherwise we may die. We get stomach pain. A pain is not a sickness. That pain tells us either indigestion or some sort of acidity or poisons or difficulty of in that digesting. Do not gas. Then we go to a doctor, take some medicine and get cured. Now you can understand, when criticisms, blames, accusation come to us due to our mistake, we should not get angry with them. They support us. To understand that we are not perfect. We also make mistake. That is why people blame and accuse us. So we should not get angry with them. Again, whenever you have a dirt mark here, you cannot see. But the others can see. Then they point out, there is something very dirt spot here. Then you go to a mirror, oh yes. Pointing our weaknesses is exactly like that. When another person pointed some of our weaknesses, actually we must thank them instead of accusing, blaming and creating enmity. This is the nature of fame and ill fame. Always we are good or bad, no one is free. Because many people are wicked. When we are good, wicked people cannot tolerate it. Then they blame, criticize. I remember one day I have told you, a mango tree produces lot of fruits. Then people go and throw stone, break branches and shake the tree and disturb the tree because of the fruit. But there are many other trees never produce fruit, people never go and disturb. Remember this. When you come forward to do some work, some service to others, definitely you get brickbats and criticism. Then must have courage, knowledge, understanding to keep quiet, not to disturb them. Then we can go ahead with your work. Otherwise, you cannot. So strong determination you must have in your mind. Whatever people say, I will continue my good work. If they are good, then nothing to worry. This is the nature of fame and ill fame. Then, ninda pasansa, sukhancha dukkham. Sukha, dukkha I have explained to you. Can you remember? What is sukha? Su means pleasant. Kha means feeling. Pleasant feeling. Sukha. Dukkha means do unpleasant. Kha feeling. Unpleasant feeling. Sukha, dukkha. All these are Pali Sanskrit words. Here also they use. Sukha and dukkha, certain period we lead a very comfortable, enjoyable, peaceful, happy life. Sukha. But there is no guarantee. At any moment, turn the other way around. Then life turn into most miserable, very difficult, and physically and mentally enormous problems and worries and disturbances we had to face. No one is free from this. Whether we are good or bad, worldly conditions never choose people. Of course, our own karma also support us, disturb us. Good karma support, bad karma disturb. That is how changes can take place any moment. So the Buddha had to suffer not only from accusations and blame and criticism, sicknesses, 12 kinds of sicknesses. Because the body is not the Buddha. Body doesn't know the Buddha. Buddha means enlightenment, not the physical body. So, he had to suffer very severe, very painful sicknesses. But he had a strong mental energy, understanding to tolerate and not to disturb the mind. In our case, when we are sick, we get disappointment, frustrations and disturb our mind very badly. But in the case of the Buddhas and Arahantas, they never get that. Because they have no craving for existence. Their minds are free. Sicknesses cannot disturb their mind. Therefore they can take it or then explain why they had to suffer like this, although they are holy, perfect Arahantas and Buddha. All good and bad deeds, good and bad karma that they have accumulated life after life during so many previous births, those karmas, there are few not yet affected. They follow up to the last gate, entrance to Nirvana. This is the nature of karma. The Buddha is not free from karma. Arahantas are not free from karma. What about others? Within that lifetime, they never create any karma. But they had to suffer, or they had to experience some peaceful, comfortable, good life also, due to their previous karma, good karma and bad karma. So, the Buddha had a very bad, very painful stomach complaint, purging blood for 3 months. Very painful, the Buddha said. Then he explained to his disciples, do you know why I am suffering from this sickness? So long ago, during one of his previous births, he was a sensei, a doctor. The man who was suffering from severe stomach complaint came to see him. He told, I haven't got anything to give you. If you can cure my sickness, I'll stay here for some times and assist you. Under this condition, he prepared some medicines, gave him to eat, got cured. That man disappeared. So the physician was very angry. He was not the Buddha at that time. He was very angry. What he did, he asked somebody to go and tell him, although you feel that your stomach pain is disappear, it will come back very soon. So ask him to come and take another medicine very soon, otherwise get back the pain. So that man trusted him, came and apologized, because he could not stay here and do anything for the physician. So this time definitely I will stay back and do some service to you. But doctor was very angry. What he did, he prepared some sort of drug or medicine to aggravate his stomach trouble. So after taking that medicine, that poor man had to suffer again. See, this is the mistake that I have done, he said. First time he did with good intention. Second time he gave the medicine with bad intention, and it turned into bad karma. So that hidden minor karma followed life after life, life after life, up to the last moment, and affected the Buddha. This is the nature of karma. We are not free from good karma or bad karma. In our case, we are going on accumulating more and more, but they do not accumulate new karma. They have completed their journey. So we have to continue our journey. Life after life, we are going on accumulating good and bad karma, then again experience the good and bad result and effect. Again we create good and bad karma, and again we experience good and bad effect. And that is what we are doing. Then complain, accuse, blame, condemn, and worry, and cry, and enjoy, and laugh, and joke. This is the nature of our life. So, in another saying, dukkhe loko patithito, sayings of the Buddha. Loko, the world. Patithito, established or based. Dukkhe, on dukkha. World exists on dukkha. That is why every living being, every living thing, every plant life, anything that it exists, has to face friction, clashes, calamities, disagreement, destruction. With the life or plant life, animal's life or element. When we collect all those things, for that we say world. World is not the earth or the space or great ocean. When all these living things and living beings and elements combine together, always friction and clashes. Otherwise cannot exist. Now this body, we can see this is existing. But we do not know how this body exists like this, as a visible object. This body exists because of the friction, elements and forces and energies, friction. Then the frame, the structure can be seen. If they are not what you call functioning, then collapse, dead. Mind itself, every minute, clashes, disturbances, fear, worries, suspicion, insecurity feeling, every minute. Then the body, all the four elements, always friction. Then we have to suffer from sicknesses, then slowly going on fading away, and then grow old. The elements and energies are fading away, decaying, then old age. No one can stop all these things. So we have to understand these things earlier. And then we don't worry when we attain, when we reach that stage. So there are many things the Buddha has pointed out for us to consider, to understand the nature of our life in this world. One writer has written, if this world is flat, without hills and rocks, fully flat, if all the trees in the jungle turn into pen, if the waters of all the rivers and lake turn into ink, you say, still not enough to write human problems. Can you imagine? Do you think he is wrong? I told you, every minute we experience certain problems. Another writer says, if we can record from our birth up to the last breath, pleasant, unpleasant feeling that we experience in our life, going on recording up to the last moment. And before our death or after our death, when you study, 95% unpleasant feeling, only 5% a little bit of emotional satisfaction. See? We are in fear, always suspicion. We have insecurity feeling. Then we blame some others. Some people say, some people I might have done charms or black magics or devils or ghosts. They blame them. Because they never think earlier, the nature of our life is such. If we want to exist in this world by leading a worldly life, we have to face all these problems and troubles and worries and disturbances, accusations and blame. But on the other hand, we also gain little bit of satisfaction, contentment, pleasure, but happiness we get very seldom. Pleasure is not happiness, because every pleasure that we experience will be ended with some sort of suffering. You cannot enjoy anything in worldly way by escaping from suffering in the end. Therefore it is not happiness. Enjoyment we cannot take as happiness. It is pleasure. Pleasure means we entertain our human emotion. Human beings have more emotion. That is why we can laugh, we can cry. Other living beings cannot laugh, cannot cry. We cannot find another living being. The Buddha also never cry or laugh like us, because no emotion in him. So we have a lot of emotion. That emotion needs some sort of entertainment. Otherwise, life becomes very dull. To avoid this, we organize certain activities as cultural show, singing, dancing, merrymaking, and decorating, beautifying. All these are for emotional satisfaction, to entertain that emotion. If we do not entertain emotion, what will happen? Human mind becomes very wild and very stubborn, a skeptic. So therefore, cultural activities are very important for human mind. That is why long ago they have incorporated so many cultural activities into religion, into Buddhism also. Otherwise religion cannot last, cannot exist. Now take for instance, you invite all the devotees to come and sit down and meditate every day. You can see how long you can carry on this. Because different people have different mentality. So in Buddhism there are different stages. We have to follow these stages which are suitable for different people, not for all. Traditional practices, cultural practices, devotional practices, intellectual practices, spiritual practices. There are 5 stages. So we cannot start from the top. We have to start from the beginning. Traditional practices are very important for children, uneducated people, those who cannot understand the significance of religious practice. They follow their tradition. Oh, this is our tradition. They have some sort of attachment, inclination toward their own tradition. And this tradition we combine with religion. Then religious tradition. That is the beginning of religious way of life. After that, we turn these traditions and custom into culture, cultural aspect. Culture is more advanced. We have to use a little bit of intelligence, understanding, a skill to organize all our activities systematically, in proper manner, just to entertain others and to appeal to their mind. That's why decorations, drawing, pictures, arts, craft and dancing, singing, not in a vulgar way, because name of the dancing and singing completely spoiled through the Western culture. Earlier in Asian countries we had beautiful religious dancing, religious singing, which create devotion, but not to arouse animal nature in human mind. In the modern dancing, modern singing, modern entertainment, more immoral practices which arouse animal nature in the human mind. That is the danger. That is why some religious people don't like all these things. But without those things they cannot continue very long. Those must know how to organize certain meaningful practices as cultural practices, so that young people pay more attention toward the religion when go through the cultural practices. And then come to devotional aspect. Without devotion there is no religious way of life. We had to develop some sort of faith, belief, and some sort of inclination to gain some inspiration. That is the devotional aspect. Now you get together and chant, following a nice rhythm. You gain very nice feeling. That is devotional. We invite some youth group to come and sing Buddhist hymns. What do you call the animal nature in the human mind. Because we have animal nature, human nature, divine nature. All of us have. But occasionally we show our animal nature. But at the moment we suppress, control animal nature and behave as humans, maintaining some sort of humane qualities, human values. But suddenly drop and again show the animal nature. When you get angry, when you are greedy, animal nature. So, to control this animal nature, human weaknesses, to maintain some sort of peace in the human mind through these practices, devotional aspect, then gain lot of confidence. That is very important in our religious way of life. Then come to intellectual side. So far we have been practicing our religious way of life without using our analytical interpretations in our mind. Just only superficial value we take. But intelligence is important for us to understand the significance, the meaning, what we are doing, why we should do all those things, why we should not do certain things. For that we must have intelligence to understand. We must have sense of reasoning. We must know what is moral, what is immoral, through understanding, but not as a law or commandment come down from heaven or given by the messenger or prophet. No, through our understanding. The Buddha has not given us any law, commandment. He was not a lawgiver. He has given us enough guidance how to open our mind to understand things. Why these things are good, why these things are bad. It is not an order that we get from another person. So when you study, when you think, when you understand what the Buddha taught, then we get the chance to open our mind to see things properly, to understand things properly, without following blindly. Many religious people follow their religions blindly because their religious authorities have not given freedom for their followers to open their mind to understand. Their duty is to accept the law, commandment, the belief given by them. The Buddha said, don't accept any law, any commandment, any belief given by others. You must know how to open your mind, think, to understand. That is the uniqueness in the teachings of the Buddha. There's nobody in this world who can challenge with the Buddha's attitude. Because the Buddha did not treat us as animals. He said, you also have a mind to think. But your mind are clouded, deluded, misled, misguided. So if you know how to take out all those rubbish from your mind, then your mind becomes bright. Then you can see things very clearly. Nothing for us to follow blindly, not knowing what we are doing, what we believe. So, that is intellectual aspect, not yet completed. So we have come to 4 stages now. Now come to the last stage, that is a spiritual aspect. We cannot start from the spiritual aspect from the beginning. Step by step, gradually we have to develop and develop and develop. Now come to the last stage, a spiritual development. A spiritual development we cannot gain by practicing traditions and customs. A spiritual development we cannot gain by practicing our cultural practices. A spiritual development we cannot gain only through our devotion. A spiritual development we never gain by enriching our knowledge about everything that exists in this world. Because still minds are polluted. So the spiritual development means try to reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce and wash away all the evil forces from the mind. We can do lot of good things. We can keep away so many bad things, but still our minds are not pure. There is no guarantee that we never change our mind again. No guarantee. Uncertainty is still there in our mind. So, very learned people in this world create very cruel, wicked, dangerous things. So their intelligence cannot control their mind. That is why spiritual aspect in a religion is more important. And this spiritual aspect also you cannot find in another religion. They talk only belief, faith, and follow the laws given by them. No further spiritual development in them. They never say, if you keep selfishness in your mind, if you keep your cruelty and anger, jealousy in your mind, If you keep greed in your mind, if you maintain ignorance, misconception in your mind, you cannot reach the final goal. They never say. They never talk anything about all those things. They say only God and belief, faith, follow the commandment. The Buddha says, you need only one thing, the purity in your mind. Without purity, whatever you do can become failure, can collapse. Now the problem is how to maintain and develop this purity in our mind. Most difficult thing in this world. Of course, we always use the word meditation or concentration or mindfulness. These are the words. By knowing the nature of our mind, awareness of the nature of our mind, watchfulness, evil thought always appear. Then we must know evil thought already appeared in the mind. Jealousy, anger, ill will appeared in the mind. Then develop the mind to control that, not to develop. Then the greed develop in the mind. Then the same mental energy used to control, suppress this greed. Then silly ideas appear in our mind. Then by knowing this is a silly idea, not a meaningful thing, control this one. That is called meditation, main purpose. Then go on reducing. It may take long time because those evil thoughts are crystallized in our mind. We maintain this such a long period, life after life, we carry all those rubbish in our mind. So when we meditate, what we do, we try to take out one by one, all the rubbish from the mind. The one day we will be able to completely cleanse the mind, completely purity appear. Then sainthood, arhantahood, perfection, final goal, nirvana. See, we started from tradition, custom, this, and finally landed. Final goal through the spiritual development. Now this is the Buddhist way, practical Buddhist way of life.